In this video, we are I'm continuing going over our properties of our logs. So we talked about condensing and expanding. So now we're going to bring in the product and quotient. So the first is linking back our properties of logs to properties of exponents. So just recall whenever we multiplied, when we were solving or simplifying, and we had the same base, when we were multiplying, we would always add the exponent. So now going the other direction for the log. So now when we're adding, we're now going to multiply. So that's a sign for multiplying, hence the property, product property of log. So like in this first example, see how we are condensing and we have our two bases here are the same, so we can apply the product property of our log. Where here we have the same, so I have log base 4, then because we're adding, we are going to multiply 2 times y. And this is our log condensed. So then here, even with a natural log, I have my natural log, so the natural log, and we are adding, so we are multiplying x times x, y. Now here I could continue this because x times x is x squared, so natural log of x squared y. And this is our expression condensed. So go ahead and pause the video and try the two U-tries and condense using our product property. And here we go. So again, notice how the bases are the same. So here I've got log base 2, and we're adding, so we're going to be able to multiply x times 13, or make sure to rewrite this as log base 2 of 13x. Then here we have our two natural logs. So I have my natural log, and again, multiply. So this here is 2xy times 4y. Now continuing on, so I've got the natural log of, well, that's 2 times 4, which is 8, just x here, but y times y, which is y squared. And so now with the quotient property, remember when our rule of exponents, when the bases were the same and dividing, we would subtract the exponents. So now we're going to go the other direction. So we're given a log, and if we're subtracting, then we're going to divide. So here, for example, with condensing, we've got our two bases that are the same. So here I've got log base 3 of, now notice we're subtracting, so we're going to divide. So that is 12x divided by 2. Then of course we can simplify. So this is log base 3 of 6x. And this is the expression condensed. So again here, notice how same bases. So log base 7 of 3x divided by 9. So now here we can simplify 3 over 9 to 1/3. So log base 7 of x over 3, because x here has that coefficient of 1, so that shows your 1/3. So go ahead and pause the video and try this U-try. And here we go. So here I've got log base b. So log base b, notice we have subtraction, so we're dividing 4 divided by 8y. So now here I can rewrite this as, well, notice now I've got log base b, but now notice here we have 4 over 8. Now notice how y is in the denominator. So y is going to stay in the denominator, but 4 over 8, which is 1/2. So 1 over 2y. Then here are natural log. So natural log, and because subtraction, we are dividing 4x divided by 3y. Now notice nothing can be simplified, so this is our expression condensed. So now we're getting into using multiple properties in order to condense. So like for example, I notice that here in the first example, we have a coefficient of 2. So if you recall, whenever we have a coefficient and we need to condense, this coefficient can be rewritten as the exponent. So here I've actually got log base b of 4x squared, then minus log base b of 3y plus log base b of y. So now I notice I have all three bases are the same, no other coefficients to rewrite, to condense. So now we can full on combine everything together, log base b. Now notice here we have 4x squared, so 4x squared, but minus this log here of 3y. So this is 4x squared over 3y. But then notice how we are also adding, so we are multiplying by y. So now here I can continue on in simplifying. So this is, well, I notice I have y divided by y. Well, y divided by y is 1. They cancel out. So here we're left with log base b of 4 squared, which is 16, and x squared, which is x squared, over 3. So now here with our natural log, I have no coefficients, so nothing can be rewritten as an exponent. So I'm going to start condensing. So I have the natural log of, well, 3x plus, so this is multiplication. So 3x times y, but then we're dividing that by 2y because of the subtraction. Now we can continue simplifying. I notice I have y divided by y, which cancels out and gives me 1. So here we have the natural log of 3x divided by 2. So go ahead and pause the video and try these two U-tries on your own. And here we go. So again, notice you should have seen you had that coefficient of 3, which becomes the exponent. So log base 2 of x to the third plus log base 2 of 5y minus log base 2 of 2y. No other coefficients. So now you could have started condensing with our same base here, log base 2. Then we've got x cubed plus, so this means multiplication, so x cubed times 5y, but minus, so you're dividing by 2y. Now we can continue simplifying. I notice I have my 2y's, which cancel out. So here rewriting this log base 2 as 5x cubed over 2. So then here with our natural logs, no coefficient, so natural log. Now here we've got 6x minus, so this is dividing, so 6x divided by 3y. But notice how we are adding, so multiplying by y. Now I'm going to go ahead and simplify. Y's cancel out, and you also have 6 divided by 3, which is 2. So really, you're just left with the natural log of 2x. And so now here in these examples, we are now expanding. So expanding, now we're going the other direction. So like for example here, see how we are multiplying everything, which means we are going to add. Now notice we have the log base 3 here. So log base 3 of 7 times x to the 6th times y to the second power. So here to expand, I've got log base 3 of 7 plus log base 3 of x to the 6th plus log base 3 of y squared. Then notice here, remember if we're expanding, then the power can now become the coefficient. So if we're going to fully expand, then here we've got log base 3 of 7 plus 6 log base 3 of x plus 2 times log base 3 of y. Now in B, Notice how we have this fraction here. So before we start expanding, we need to simplify. Well, I notice I have 4 over 16. Well, that is 1 over 4. I also have x squared divided by x to the 4th. So this is, well, if I have 2 x's here, but I have 4 x's here, that means I now have canceling out, but I'm now left with x squared in my denominator. So x squared over x to the 4th, you have x squared left in your denominator. So this means now here, and just to show you also why, here I have x squared, which was x times x, and x to the 4th, x times x times x times x, right? So then if you were to cancel out, you have x and x. So see here, notice how you have x times x, which is x squared. So really you're left with just 1 over 4x squared times y. So really, if you notice, there's nothing in the numerator, just 1. Because everything is being divided, when we are writing this out expanded, remember division was subtraction, but everything now is going to be negative. So this is negative log of 4 minus log of x squared minus log of y. But then remember also that power property with that exponent of 2, we can bring that out in front as our coefficient. So negative log 4 minus 2 log of x minus log of y. So go ahead and pause the video and try these 2 U-tries on your own. And here we go. So again, we're expanding. So in this first one, notice how everything is being multiplied. So multiplication, you should have shown addition. So log base 4 of 3 plus log base 4 of x squared plus log base 4 of y. But then you should have also noticed with the exponent, bring that down as your coefficient. So log base 4 of 3 plus 2 times log base 4 of x plus log base 4 of y. So now here in B, we're again expanding, but before we do, we need to simplify. Well, now we've got 15 divided by 3. Well, 15 divided by 3 is 5, so this is 5 here. I also have x to the 4th over x squared, which means now here we have x squared, and both of our x's cancel out. And then here we're just left with y cubed. So when you simplify this, you should have 5x squared over y cubed. So now to expand this, here we go. We've got log of 5 plus, because multiplying, log of x squared. Then dividing, so minus log of y cubed. Then here we have your exponents. Bring the product or power down as your coefficient. So fully expanded log of 5 plus 2 log of x minus 3 log of y. So now here, if you wanted that extra practice, again, expanding. So here I've got log base 8 of our expression here. Now notice nothing can be simplified. So I'm just going to go ahead and start expanding. Log base 8 of a squared plus log base 8 of b, right? Because they're being multiplied, but because you're dividing, minus log base 8 of c cubed. Then again, the power property, we have our exponent that can be brought down as our coefficient. So log base 8, 2 times log base 8 of a plus log base 8 of b minus 3 times log base 8 of c. Then here with our natural log. Now we can simplify inside because I do notice that I've got x to the 9th over x to the 4th. So now you're left with x to the 5th. Now here we have y and z. So rewriting this so that you can see what we're expanding, this is the natural log of 10x to the fifth times y over z to the fifth. So now to expand, I've got the natural log of 10 times the natural log of x to the fifth, because we're multiplying. Ooh, I'm sorry, as I put even plus, or times, plus, and then plus natural log of y. Now we're dividing, so minus the natural log of z to the fifth. But now notice, again, our powers that need to be brought down to continue fully expanding as our coefficient. So natural log of 10 plus 5 times the natural log of x plus the natural log of y minus 5 times the natural log of z. So go ahead and pause the video now and try these two U-tries. And here we go. So now here, can I simplify anything? No. So I'll just go ahead and start expanding. Log base 3 of a to the fifth times log base 3 of b squared. Then dividing, so minus log base 3 of c to the fourth. However, notice you do have powers. So to fully expand, then, oops, I just put times again. My fault, guys. That should be a plus. And then bringing that down as your coefficient. So log base 3, 5 times log base 3 of A plus 2 times log base 3 of B minus 4 times log base 3 of C. So now the natural log. So here, always, now I'm going to look to see, I can simplify. I have only one x here, x, but over 3 x's, x to the third. So now we're just left with 2 x's in the denominator. So the natural log of y to the seventh, but then we're dividing. So minus natural log of x squared minus the natural log of z squared. Again, to continue fully expanding, our powers now become and bring down as coefficients. So 7 times the natural log of y minus 2 times the natural log of x minus 2 times the natural log of z.